Ooh, yeah. This. The entire season. Child, let's get into this, honey.
I'm the queen of the jungle.
Let's just start with Nick and Danielle. Baby, I don't know. Listen, it's something about this couple that I just don't, I just can't get with. Like, I think, like, individually, these two, Nick is like strong in his own world and Danielle is strong in her own world. But at the end of the day, they just feel like they're on two different playing fields for me. I mean, one is spunky and sophisticated, you know, adventurous, young, youthful, and just full of life. And then the other is just serious, weird, controlling, always in somebody's business. Like, this couple wasn't giving it for me. Like, out of all the couples that, like, I was pretty iffy on, this one had to take the top. Like, I just did not understand this couple. I was really feeling Danielle at first. You know, she was beautiful. First off, the first thing that I noticed was how beautiful she was. She was talking about all the struggles that she overcame with losing 70 pounds and whoop-de-whoa. And she just gave very much, you know, I'm queening right now, you know, I'm just in my zone and enjoying, you know, life. So I did not really get the vibe where she would just, you know, go, like, I didn't get the crazy vibes. A lot of comments that I saw about Danielle was like she was crazy and, you know, narcissistic and everything like that. I honestly did not get that vibe from her. I honestly just got the vibe of, I'm a person who deals with anxiety and, you know, I have challenges that I'm overcoming mentally, and I just need someone to be patient as I grow and overcome them. So when they were in the pods, Nick and Danielle, I saw from Nick that he was able to understand that. He seemed very calm. He seemed very chill and patient with her. So when he proposed to her, I was super, super duper excited about that. But things start to change for me. I started to see a new Nick. He wasn't like that calm, gentle, sweet soul that he was exhibiting in the pods. Where it kind of turned down for me was when he was at the party when all the couples were in Mexico and on their honeymoon, and everybody was, you know, officially getting a chance to meet each other. And he just seemed like he was in everybody's business. And I just wasn't feeling that. It just gave me very feminine, busybody, troublemaker, like, gossiping energy. And I like, for why do you care? For me, I don't know what it is about me. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I love a good, you know, tea session or whatever the case may be, but it's just something about a man, a grown ass man, in everybody's business, telling somebody what they supposed to do, or like just trying to get tea and trying to get information, and just like it's just very like off-putting and like just a turn off for me in general. But back to my point. So that night, for whatever reason, Danielle wasn't feeling well or whatever the case may be. So she decided to stay home. She did not get a chance to meet everybody at, you know, the honeymoon sea party, I guess. So I guess for whatever reason, she had a panic attack, honey, because she felt like he was forgetting about her and went off with a girl to the lake. And she said she had locked herself in a closet. This is where it started to just go downhill for me, for both of them. She said that she locked herself in a closet and was just crying the whole entire night because she felt like Nick forgot about her. I'm sorry, what? Like, it's just, it didn't, I knew at that point in time, like, oh, this ain't what you want, honey. This was the point where I feel like everything was about to take a turn for the worse. To say that you locked yourself in a room, and this is only like y'all first or second date together, and you're already going at that level of pure emotional overload, volcano, it just was giving very much a red flag. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. I didn't think that, to be honest, they would even make it to the wedding, you know, just after like certain outbursting moments like that. And then, like, when they would have conversations at dinner, it was just always an argument. I did not like the fact that he would always talk about how youthful she was, like, in a negative sense. Like, when she first came over to his house and she wanted to change, you know, certain things. Like, she wanted to implement her drum set and everything like that and give out her costumes. And Nick was just, like, kind of downplaying and said, oh, well, we're not 5 or we're not 12. It's just like... that is so condescending and rude. Why would you say that to your wife? Seriousness for no reason, like, at all. And I just did not understand that. So this was a couple that, like I said, they seemed like they were on 2 planets. So I was very shocked to see that they even made it to the wedding and gave out the words, I do. On that note, I ain't got nothing else to say about that. I felt like this couple was just very confusing. I don't know how long it will work. Again, I'm a person that deals with anxiety too. Shout out to all the people that are overcoming, you know, anxiety and mental illness. You know, it's something that definitely needs to be talked about a lot. But this couple definitely taught me that when it comes to relationships, you definitely have to pick someone who you are compatible with when it comes to your challenges. And I don't feel like Danielle... love her. Like, I think she's a great girl, but I don't think that she gave herself enough a chance to, you know, put herself out there in a way of, you know, if you're going to lose 70 pounds and boast about it and everything like that, you have to walk in that confidence within yourself and give yourself a chance to find love and not sabotage it so quickly. So next we are going to move on to, oh boy, this one here. Natalie and Shane. So first things first, beautiful Asian woman. I absolutely loved Natalie. I did not like Shane for Natalie though, and I'm just gonna keep it at that. To be very honest with you, on an individual level, I messed with Natalie all the way. She gave me very much business oriented, calm like energy. She seemed like she was about her business, about her career, you know, level-headed, calm, cool, collected, and just looking to take that next level. And I just don't know what she saw in Shane. Like, no, like, shade to Shane, but like, dude was like this the entire season. Just like, I could not get with that. Like, he freaked me out. He gave me like stalker, like, you know, tear down the whole village type vibes. Like, if I saw him in public, if I saw Shane in public, I would just like run the other way. I'm sorry. Like, I can't. And again, like, I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings. I hope I'm not, you know, stepping on nobody's toes. It's just like, you know, I feel like if you come on a love show and you're trying to, you know, find love and things like that, and you're talking to women, there's just a certain demeanor you should have, like, or develop, you know, in order for someone to feel comfortable with you. But Natalie actually said in an interview that that was one of the qualities that she loved about Shane, because she felt like she was super calm and chill, and Shane was like that character, like that youthful Energizer Bunny type of character that she always wanted to be. Like, and, you know, that's cool or whatever, but it's just like, you can't find a brother that's Energizer Bunny but in the right headspace. Child. So she kind of was like the oddball for a second, and it honestly was a cringy scene, seeing how her dad was just so comfortable with everything. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I want my dad's support in everything I do, but like, just to be completely okay this is your first time meeting my dude and you ain't got no hesitation or no questions for dude. Like, you just, oh yeah, let's just go for it. Choose happiness. I want you to do what's best for you. It's like, no, Papa. Like, intimidate him. Beat him down. Like, take him to a gun range or something. Like, do something. Like, don't just be, like, okay with everything, Support me. Walk me down the aisle. Yes. Like, we'll get over that. We'll make it to that happiness go-getting part. But don't just be okay with every decision that I make. Shoot. What's wrong with you? Needless to say, that was a couple that I actually kind of digged at first, but I wasn't really surprised that by the time they got to the wedding, Natalie didn't say I do. I was actually surprised that the whole outburst that she was saying that Shane didn't come sooner rather than later. I would think that there was hella situations that happened between the two where him losing his temper and going out crazy, because he just seemed very crazy and demented to me. Like, he didn't seem like he was here, bro. Bro seemed like he was Again, I'm not making fun of mental illness and things like that, but what I'm saying is, you come on a love show, you're finding love, there is a certain demeanor that you have to have. There is a certain level of maturity that you have to have. And I just don't feel like Shane was there. And to deal with a woman like Natalie, like, they just were on two different levels. Now, Shane and Shayna, that is a couple that I actually, like, wish I could have seen. I actually thought that Shane and Shayna would make it. I thought that Shane would propose to Shayna first. So I was I did not, like, if you see their relationship in the pods, I did not take the relationship between Shane and Natalie very seriously. So I was very confused as to why he proposed to Natalie first. Like, I saw a deep, friendly, playful connection between the two, but it seemed like him and Shayna were on the same wavelength. Which brings me to my next couple, Shayna and Kyle. I actually love me some Kyle. I actually was feeling Kyle's energy a little bit. He had that deep, dark, sarcastic humor that I actually like. He just seemed like a sweetheart. Like, he seemed like he tries to play like this bad boy, tough guy role, but he really is a sweetheart and cuddly custard on the inside. So, I actually digged him. I wasn't really tripping as a Christian woman. I wasn't really tripping at the fact that he was an atheist or whatever the case may be, because he was talking about how his mother grew up religious and things like that. So he did have like a knowledge of, Christianity or Catholic, whatever you want to call it. It's all pretty much the same thing. So I really wasn't tripping on that. What I was tripping about when it came to Kyle was the fact that he was so impulsive to getting Shayna that I feel like it took away, like, it was just off-putting to me, because I feel like Shayna gave him so many signs to recognize that she wasn't ready and really wasn't feeling him in that type of way. And I just feel like because of his love and or because it seemed like he recognized that Shayna was out of his league. I mean, blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever. And just like the whole pods, like, just their connection of getting deeper and things like that. So by the time that he saw her, blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful body and everything like that, I think that he recognized that she was just completely out of his league, and he just wanted to take that chance and even push for the ring and the marriage more. But to get on your knees and, give a girl who you haven't even seen your mother's wedding ring, it just seemed like he was too impulsive and too pushy when it came to that. Like, it seemed like he was trying to manipulate the situation. Again, I don't know. I'm not due, but I'm not going that far until I've seen you. We've done moved on together and everything like that. I'll buy a ring for the person. If I'm coming on a show to find love and get married, I'll buy a ring that's like the proposal ring. You feel what I'm saying? Or the engagement ring. But I ain't gonna give you the ring until I know everything is clear. Yeah. Shayna, on the other hand, I thought that she was very playful. She gave me very much youthful, just spunky, adventurous type vibes, like just living life and everything like that. I did not really like her as a person. She seemed very just like shady. Almost as shady as there was this other blonde chick that they never really showed. I wish they would, that would just always talk about herself and things like that. Shayna gave me those vibes. So when I saw her with Shane, though, I saw a different person, to be honest. I saw a person that was basically just real and down to earth and, you know, could relate to certain situations. It's like when she talked to Kyle, I just got very like, like mom vibes, you know, like the older sister talking to her younger brother. Like, it just seemed weird. I don't know. You know, I feel like, you know, when you're in that type of position and cameras are rolling, it could be really hard to make, you know, the right on decisions in that moment. I honestly feel like she just said yes in the moment because she didn't want to publicly humiliate him. I mean, this was like a recorded show, so it's like, you know, I don't know what I would do in that situation either. I mean, like, that's a terrible way to go down. If you're not gonna find love on a show, that's just like a terrible way to go. But like, if you say no and then the guy gives you his mom's wedding ring, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna say yeah too. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna say yeah too. Moving on to Sal and Malorie. Okay, so y'all, this couple I actually liked. I actually was rooting for. Who I was not rooting for was Malorie. I was not digging her vibe. She's a beautiful lady. When she was talking about her experiences in the pod with Sal, I thought that was really like what Love is Blind is all about. You know, really trying to find those deep connections and those emotional connections, you know, before the physical. I really do feel like she was being as open as she could have been. Where I don't really respect her is why take it that it just did not seem though as she was interested. Am I the only person that just felt like Malorie wasn't really interested in the show? Like, if you notice some of like the way she talks to like some of the guys, she just seems like she's just living life, figuring it out, like just on a game show and just, you know, vibing or whatever, just chilling. I don't feel like she came for love. I honestly feel like she just came to have a true, authentic experience with another human being. And I feel like she found that in Jared and Sal. It was a little deeper for Sal, and I feel like it was unexpected, which is why I don't feel like she was so attracted to him, because I don't feel like she came on the show for the right reason. Like, I feel like even if it was Jared, like a lot of people were talking about the dynamic between Malorie and Jared, I still feel like she would have had the same reaction. Like, even though Jared was the type, you know, that she said she went for, I don't feel like she would have gone to the extent that she did with Sal. Like, I just don't feel like she came on the show for love. I do feel like she just came on the show to have an experience. Sal, I absolutely loved. I absolutely loved Sal. I thought he was handsome. I thought he was sweet, kind, gentle. He was great. I mean, like, he sung. He's such a beautiful voice, like such a beautiful soul. See, Sal is actually my type. I love a sweet, gentle boy all across the board, but knows how to be aggressive and stand up for what he believes in and be loyal to the ones that he truly cares about and loves. Like, that's my type of dude. I did not expect him to go as hard as he did on the reunion. And I'm actually like, good for Sal. Sal stood his ground, and he came at Jared for the things that he said back in Mexico when they were on their honeymoon. And we're gonna get into that. I absolutely respected Sal a lot more for his character and how he handled the situation between Mal and Jared, and just between their relationship and how him and Mal were trying to connect and start, you know, this whole life together. I really applaud him for opening up to her in such a way that was so classy and just so like freeing. He reminds me of like just that old soul that, you know, is just rumming through life on his guitar, baby. Like, I don't know. I just dig Sal. I like Sal. I love how he shows love to all the couples. He wasn't trying to be a busybody in people's matters. He was just like a person who, like, just a class act, bro. All across the board. One thing I was weary on when it came to Sal is that he lived with a roommate. A part of me, as much as I love Sal, a part of me feels like when you're on the road to marriage, you should definitely have something to call. You should definitely be in a, it's not about finances. You should just be in a certain place. Does that make sense? Like, you should have your own. Like, you should at least have, you should be able to, you know, afford to be on your own. You should be able to afford this and afford that. So it was really weird that he still lived with a roommate. It gave more so of figuring out life. But listen, I'm from Chicago. I lived in Chicago for a couple of years, and it is truly expensive. So there obviously is no judgment at all. I mean, life happens to everybody. I'll be living with a roommate soon, so it's not really about, you know, the finances. It's just like when you're coming on a show for love and you're ready to move into the next stages of marriage, I just feel like you should be in a spot where you have your own, and, you know, you can take care of everything by yourself, so that when your woman or your husband comes along, it would just be more of an add-on rather than a suffer of I depend on her and she depends on me type thing. You get what I'm saying? If we go back to the honeymoon in Mexico when Jared came to Mal, you know, another person she had a connection with in the pods, I understand that it was really hard for her to be in that type of situation with someone she had a connection with as well. But as a woman, you know when a guy is trying to make a move. Like, you feel what I'm saying? You know when a guy is just taking, you know, certain things a little bit too far. When he talked about why you didn't pick me, okay, cool. You know, let's just talk about it, dead the situation, and move on. When you talk about a man's ring that he gave and put on your finger, when a man comes to you and talks to you about that, let me tell you what you do. Bye, baby. Good night. You get up and you walk away, baby. That is inappropriate on so many levels. Inappropriate, uncouth, not cool on so many levels. Like, don't ever in your life, I don't care if I'm attracted to the dude, if we not okay or whatever, another man will never be able to know that I'm not feeling something, or I'm not feeling a whole ass wedding ring. Like, come on, bro. Like, nah, that's just not cool. And to be honest, even if I like Jared more than I like Sal, if I was in that situation, Jared would just lose so many points with me, because that's not somebody who I would want. Here come Nick's ass talking about, oh, well, you know, you see Malorie over here, and Jared like, well, yeah, sir, like, did you hear her voice? Bro, I knew she was gonna be fine just as soon as I heard her voice. Like, what? See, like I said, y'all, nothing is new under the sun. King Solomon said it himself. But this generation of men and women never cease to amaze me, honey. Never. Even though Jared was crying his eyes out, honey, didn't even propose and get on one good knee. He proposed on the couch and was crying all tears of, you know, weariness and depression, as if like Malorie was the only thing that he came in there for. I really got the sense that if he were to just see Ayanna, that he would be in love with her. He would just be in love with her. I feel like he was, and I, to be honest, feel like he was shocked that she was so fine and so gorgeous and so beautiful. Beautiful Black woman. I mean, just a queen, honey, in her own right. I actually related to Ayanna's character in so many ways. I think she's just a cool all-around chick. I really dig her vibe and dig her energy. And they seem to have more of a deeper connection than the connection that Jared had with Mal. I feel like the connection that he had with Mal, though, was still, you know, deep in its own way. It was just something about Ayanna, though. Like, I don't know. She just seemed like she was his. And I was just mad at him that he did not see that in her. And then the fact that he proposed to her still, after the first proposal to Mal didn't go well, he proposes to Ayanna as like, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to go for the next runner-up. Like, what? Baby, these generation of men is just on a totally different level, honey. Because never, ever would I ever feel like that was the right thing to do for me. Like, and I get it. You know, you make mistakes, you grow from them, you realize something ain't right or whatever the case may be. But let me tell y'all something about Jared. Jared came on the show to find him a wife. Whether it was going to be Mal or Ayanna, he came to this show to find him a wife. And I feel like it was God. I feel like he took it as it was God's way of closing the door to one so he can open the door to Ayanna. But this is the thing that I don't like. He was so emotionally invested into Mal that it was just very off-putting that it's not like he took a few days to think about it. He just took a day to like chill out, and then the next day said, oh, well, you know, I had a long conversation with God and I just feel like Ayanna is the right move for me. Like, really, babe? In 24 hours? You came up with that conclusion? You made a whole ass proposal to another chick just to say, well, was the wrong chick, so I'll just pick the next one. Why? I honestly wanted more for Ayanna. I would have just, if I was Jared, I would have stopped right there, stopped the show, took a couple of days to like regroup. I would have left the show. Like, I would have to leave the show, because it just would not be, if I honestly felt in my whole heart of hearts that God was choosing me to be with Ayanna. And this is me being Jared, I would have left the show, took maybe a couple of weeks to think about it, came back and explained to Ayanna, you know, what I was going through, and just take that time that I need. Because I don't know, it's just something about that situation that just did not seem right. Like, it just did not seem right. Last but not least, Deepti and Shake. Baby, let me tell you something. My mom, my African-American mom, is married to a beautiful Indian woman. And I have grown accustomed to to the Indian culture. I love the Indian culture. I was so happy that this was like the first representation of Indian Americans in America, and they seem like a rebel type of relationship, because if anyone is Indian out there, this is so not the way to get married or to find love or whatever the case may be. Just like Asian culture, Indian culture is pretty strict as well when it comes to marriage and things like that. So I was really excited that, you know, they found a couple that really just naturally catered to one another. When you have those similarities with culture, it just makes it a lot easier. Like, you don't have to over explain everything. You can just be yourself and it's just understood. You feel what I'm saying? So I thought that Deepti was absolutely gorgeous. She was a queen in her own right. However, I don't understand. Again, it's kind of like Natalie, just like a bad chick. And it's like, what do you see in this guy? Like, what do you see in this guy? Shake was very off-putting from the get-go. I hated the way he talked to people in the pods. I hated the way he was asking women about their weight and about if he can hold them on his shoulders. It's just like, sir, this is not the right show for you, hun. If you want to know about physical appearance and everything like that, your ASS should have been on, I don't know. You should have just went back to conventional dating, honey, and stopped this show. Like, when they showed you the show of Love is Blind, like, you should have just stopped. I did not understand what he meant at the reunion by Love is Blurry, because again, this is called Love is Blind. It's not about the physicalities, honey. It's about the emotional and mental connections that you have with people. And you have to be willing to understand that and not have the best of both worlds. But this is my problem with men. Y'all want y'all cake and eat it too, honey. And that's just not how the way it works. Well, I don't want to say all men are like that, but majority of them, honey. But you know what? I honestly feel like if anybody was going to show a different side of Shake, I felt like Deep T really was that person. I feel like she brought out a good side of him. She really did bring out the best of him when they first met and he put, you know, his hands on her feet, because in Indian culture, when you get married, the woman's supposed to touch the man's feet, but he touched her feet instead. I thought that was so romantic and so beautiful. So you just see these different soft sides to Shake that are revealed later on in the season. But again, good for her for not choosing him at the aisle, honey, because whew, I would be in jail if he had said half of the sugar honey iced tea about my looks or anything in between. I was really like just heartbroken for her, because as a woman, we take a lot of, you know, we take a lot of pride in the way we look and things like that. So I just wasn't feeling how he would just go and gossip about how she looks and how he didn't have an animalistic sexual urge for her and things like that. It was just so off-putting and just all the way wrong. And so good for her for not choosing him, you know, down the aisle. And that's really all I got to say. All right, y'all, so that's really all I have to say for the Love is Blind review. I hope you like this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe wherever you are watching this movie, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or night. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Love you. Peace.
I'm the queen of the jungle.